The Nerd Academy podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
Good morning, class, and welcome back to the #1 Contender podcast, the show where your favorite nerds talk all things movie trivia schmodown. I am your host, Jarod the Dark Jedi Bachman Stubbs, and joining me, as always, is your resident quirky dungeon head and this week birthday boy, Travis Grossman.
In 1 hour, I will be old. I'm already old, but I'll be old.
If I wasn't worried about the copyright strike that might hit us because of the music, I was strongly considering having like just a little bit of like the Stevie Wonder, like "Happy Birthday to you," just like randomly hit it throughout the episode, like just cut both of us off at random.
You can get some fun
But I got
clips
cold,
that way.
huh?
You can get some fun clips that way.
Yeah. I was afraid. I didn't want to court the wrath of the copyright gods with something as egregious as just playing music.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I got a cold feet on that one. I got nervous with the Boba Fett clip that I put in after the Book of Boba Fett trailer. Like that one was a little nerve-wracking. But yeah,
I don't think Disney's quite as hard as WB is for that kind of stuff.
Weirdly enough, like there's one episode of the Versus series we can never play as like a main episode because like at the very end of the show, because Spencer and I kept making jokes about Venom by Eminem, that the episode just ends with us with me casting it via Spotify to the TV. And Spencer and I just patiently waiting for the Venom, and just like mumble over top of it. You can tell that both of us hit a wall that night and we're just out. It was pure slap happiness. And at the end of I looked at him, I'm like, it takes a lot longer to get to the part that I remember. At which point it eventually comes. And
the Scatman days. To the Scatman days.
Oh my god!
I still get people when I'll be at work and someone will bring up Scatman, and I'll be like, okay, but hear me out. Put it at quarter speed.
Sometimes I test it out on myself to see if I still have that reaction.
Yeah, me too. When you're just like, does this still hit just as hard? And you start it, scat. Yep.
It's and I'm like just immediate honking, like breathless laughter, like cackling. I don't know what episode of Hall of Heroes it was, but if any of you are so inclined and want to dig through the Hall of Heroes back catalog, there is an episode where Spencer decides. Was it Spencer? His idea?
Yeah, because I think his song for the week was Scatman.
Yeah, you're right.
End all the episodes with songs or whatever.
Yeah, funny that. But Spencer was like Scatman. He was like, you ever hear this at like a quarter speed and hit it? And I went lightheaded. Like for a moment, I thought I was going to faint. I was laughing so hard. Like I've never expelled all of my oxygen in one massive laugh before and went briefly faint.
Joker guess actually just causes a hallucination where you just hear it's like an audible hallucination. Yeah, and you die. That's it. That's all it is.
Real quick before we jump into the show and Travis's birthday presents, real quick word from our sponsors at Sunday's Bloody Mary. You guys know by now, I love this stuff. I am a now frequent user of the award-winning Spicy Caesar mix. I cannot recommend this one enough personally. They have a mild mix, they have a vegan mix, they have a subscription box, rim salt. They got some pickled garnishes. You got okra, dilly beans, and asparagus down here. They got merch. They got shirts and hoodies, shot glasses, all kinds of badass Bloody Mary accoutrement. I can't recommend it enough. As a bartender, I prefer to make Bloody Marys from scratch, or at least I did. And now when I make myself a Bloody Mary, I do just generally pop in some dill pickle vodka and some Sunday's Bloody Mary. I'm in big screen mode, so I can't actually see Travis's face that well. So it looked like for a moment he made a face when I said pickle vodka.
No,
but
so
I
I'm
assure
thinking
you
about one day I'd like to do the ad read. I'm not going to tell you why, but I thought
Okay.
last night I'm laying in bed. I shut darkness around me. My thunderstorm sounds playing from my Robit. And I had a vision of an ad read that only works with this exact sponsor, actually. So thank you, Sundays, for making me a comedy god. But I can't tell you what it is, or it'll ruin the joke. So one day,
okay.
before Hammer the K, I got the ad read today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can get down with that. But yeah, do yourselves a favor, hook yourself up with some Sunday's Bloody Mary and use code TNAP, TNAP at checkout, and you get 10% off your order and you help out your favorite nerds. That's code TNAP at checkout, Sunday's Bloody Mary. And without further ado, before we jump into our matches for the week, also, we are recording this on Wednesday, the 17th, almost certainly going into Thursday, the 18th. I will get to be on with Travis as the birthday clock strikes. So that'll be fun. But before we jump into the matches themselves, I am continuing the tradition that I have started, that if Travis is recording anywhere near his birthday, I make him open his birthday presents on air. Last year would have been way funnier if we had a video element. I think I say that like 3 times. Obviously, we knew we would have one by his next birthday. But that was when I got you the matching Goku and Vegeta fist bump shirts. Because I was like, I want to get him something like obnoxiously corny, and you had the exact reaction I was hoping for. So this one, part of this gift is slightly more shit posty.
Oh God. Okay, so there's tissue paper. I see a box. You got me soap. It won't come out of the box.
The lovely people at Salt Cat Soap also sent me a 10% off coupon for buying from them. So I will be sure to share along said 10% off coupon so that you can get yourself more Salt Cat Soap.
I'm assuming this is some kind of receipt. Yeah, so it looks like okay.
Yeah,
I won't show that on camera.
I didn't want you to look at it. I didn't want you to look at it. It's gauche for you to see what I spent on you.
That's true. What is this? Oh, right. I never actually picked this up.
I kept forgetting to give you your War on Boars.
No more boars and more. Yes. And more 5150s. Coming to a spectacular near you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It looks like it.
All right. I will be back on camera in 1 second.
Oh, look at him go. That makes my heart happy. But yeah, happy birthday to the most kick-ass co-host on the planet. I say co-host, like we all kind of technically are co-hosts equally, but Travis generally is on more shows than anybody. So like he gets like slight seniority on that front. And like I said, during our 100th episode, little special live stream Monday night, none of this would be possible specifically without the help of Travis. So happy birthday, buddy. I hope you enjoy your soap.
I do. I will enjoy my soap. And thank you for my shirt.
Of course.
These are lovely, and I appreciate it very much. I caught my soap.
It's my pleasure. I can't wait for the 4th of December, where like you wake up and before work you get in the shower and you're like using your William Bibiani soaps and putting on your 5150 shirt, and this is a big day. But yeah, without any further, can't tell if fuzzy or bug. Without any further ado and any more birthday celebration, as fun as it has been. The first of only a handful of matches we have to cover today. In what? Oh, okay. Quick disclaimer. There's been a lot of discussion that's happened this season about how we use the word upset. And how I think there was an unintended connotation of underestimation that comes with the word upset.
Mm-hmm.
I think that future use of that word should come with the caveat of, like, a lot of the time those upsets only happen because the other like the player that is defeated who was the favorite, when they were defeated, they were the more established individual. Like they've been around longer, they have a longer list of feats than their opponent. And that it is not quite this is an upset because the other person was not qualified to beat their opponent and did anyway. It's that we have simply seen more from one of them and have seen them like walk the path a little bit longer than their counterpart. I think that use of the term upset, that's where you get your Fabetti Batemans, your Demolanta Damons, Nikki Demolanta Damons, stuff like that. So when I say that Janine the Machine versus Dan Murrell is the upset of the year, we're dealing with one player whom everybody loves. Like I can't remember the last time I saw concerted like Janine hate. And I'm glad I can't remember the last time I saw it. You have in Janine the Machine a player whom up until now has never made it past round one of a tournament. Not because she's bad, but because I have never seen somebody who has worse luck in the Schmodown. And this is something Travis and I talked a lot about, you know, every time Janine has played this season practically, is her greatest enemy is whatever ladder she walked under or whatever mirror she broke or whatever like truck carrying salt shakers she knocked over. Like, I don't know what it like what happened that gave her these couple seasons where she just kept getting punched in the mouth. You know, with the wheel, with all of that stuff. You know, I made the joke before with, you know, like that match against Mike Kalinowski where she was on a tear that season And then he spins Bond in round 2, and there's all, hey, she can still win this. She can still win this. Like, you saw people get upset when they were like, I'm about to run away with this match, because they knew they were dealing with somebody who was an absolute powerhouse. Janine has always been a powerhouse. I think she's bringing the heat harder this season than she has previous years. But on top of that, she has not had these runs where it's like opponent's choice, opponent's choice, opponent's choice. She ends up with a bullshit category she knows nothing about. Like, she has had good luck insofar as her luck has not been bad.
Mm-hmm.
And she's also had moments where she was like given an opportunity to exploit her opponent the way she has been exploited by her opponents years prior. Like, I want to put a lot of caveats on saying upset of the year, because I don't want this to come across as she had no right to defeat Dan Murrell. You know,
Yeah.
Am I making sense?
The easiest way I've come to word it is that no one ever doubted that she could do it. But on paper, Dan Murrell should win. That, like, given these two players, given their histories and not knowing anything about the match itself,
20th career win a week or two ago.
Like, a college football team playing against the New England Patriots, helmed by what's his name? Tom Brady. Thank you. I hate him so much I forgot his name.
Travis doesn't even watch football and wins Tom Brady to go shove it.
I only get into football if the Steelers are in the playoffs, and I say get into very loosely. Other than that, I just walk around going, "Oh yeah, Tom Brady, hate that guy." It was very confusing last year having to root against the, like, I was like, wait, he's on the Broncos? I think he was on the Broncos. I don't even remember. Buccaneers. B name. I didn't care. No, I was thinking of Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning went to the Broncos his last year. That's what it was.
Yeah.
But that, like, if you took the Penn State Nittany Lions, right, and they played the Patriots with Tom Brady as a quarterback, like, if I told you that, and I'm not even saying that Janine's only like college ball level of playing against the NFL, right? That's not what I'm saying. But, like, technically,
Dan Murrell has spent so much time at the top of this mountain that, like, again, 20th career win.
You assume he's going to win in every match he plays. That's non-negotiable.
It's a safe bet. Look at what he did last season. Look at what he's been doing this season. Like, he's had an incredible season, even though he hasn't had a belt for a lot of it.
I think last season he spent more games defending a belt than not.
You're right.
Like, by the numbers. And he spent half the season with the singles belt. Like, there's no reason to not favor him unless you're a huge Janine fan, which you're more than that's valid. And at no point have you, especially you or I, have ever been like, oh, there's no way Janine's going to do this. There's absolutely no way. And I'm immensely happy that this wasn't a throwaway thing. It wasn't that, like, it wasn't even that Dan got bad luck. They both played well. Dan missed his 5, and that was the match.
Yeah.
You know? So there's no room for debate as to, like, well, she didn't earn it because this, or Dan threw it away because this. Like, no, there's none of that. She won. Like, she just outright won.
That literally my next point. You're exactly right. Like, there's no semantics here. You know, like, if I wanted to be that guy, like last week, we were talking about her match with KO. Like you like in theory, again, I don't think this is the case. In theory, you can talk all day long about opponents. Like, she had incredible luck, and she made it a brilliant tactical play, saddling KO with a category she knew she would, like, railroad him in. Like, you could do she was a great tactician, but she was relying on Mike getting stuff. Like, he spun opponents right. Like, there, like you can try to make those kind of like, oh well, the circumstances of the match led to ... all day long. And you could even say, and I do think that I do think that if Mike hadn't spun opponent's choice, he probably would have won based off of his performance in round one. Like he did kind of have the edge coming out of round one, and had he like had something he was even remotely competent in, who knows how that match ends. Janine the Machine, outright, no outside circumstances. No, like there is no asterisk you need to put next to this. She fucking beat Dan Murrell.
And as sad as that makes me,
yeah,
that's still like that's so cool for her. Like it's so sweet that she gets to be like, I did the thing.
It's insane. Like I don't. Again, in a year of upsets, and like that was a conversation you and I had last night, where like I was watching the post game interviews. I took out my phone. I went to text you. I'm like, "Have you seen Machine versus Murrell?" And you were like, "Yeah, have you?" And I just sent like a picture of my TV of Jen Sturger talking to Dan, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like this is incredible. Like this is like this. Never in a million years did I think I was going to see Dan Murrell in the singles in the Ultimate Schmoedown singles tournament, right? So like that's unprecedented. And Dan has had to try to climb the mountain to get his belt back, right? That was crazy. We saw Dan have to really fight for it against Lon, and Lon got this amazing moment to like really flex his muscles. He made Dan fight for it. Dan came out on top. Cool. Dan getting bumped out of a tournament. Like it's crazy to think Dan Murrell's in a tournament. It's in a singles tournament. It's even crazier to go, Dan Murrell got bumped out of the singles tournament. Like, and again, this is no disrespect to Janine at all. Like I am so happy and like in a weird parasocial relationship way, incredibly proud, right? Where it's just like I said, this has been the season of people who have that like, how would using the Star Wars analogy I brought up before, where you have that like the difference between like master and grandmaster is just like an overwhelming level of a mastery that is like that requires both like a prodigal level of aptness and aptitude and mixed with incredibly refined skill. Before, Janine was in the like mid tier of the master tier, where like she's good as hell. But when she runs up against your like god tier players, she might fall flat. Here, Janine just keeps blowing through these walls. And it's bananas. It's bananas. Like
I think ever since she stepped in for Octuple, right? Ever since she had to make that jump, I think that like I think after Ben Bateman won his belt, I think Janine assumed position of best non-rookie player who's never had a belt, right? Like I think that's kind of
I'm listening to you. I'm going to make gross noises. Keep talking.
Okay. Like, I think that's kind of where she stepped into. I think playing, like, the fact that she never played in a championship match kind of was one of the things that held her back. And that's weird to say, but I think for her, playing in, even though like, they didn't win, playing in that match at that, playing at the top showed her what it was like and showed her that she could do it, especially when she kept, like, she held them together for that match.
Yeah. She did. She really did.
So now she knows that she can do it. And that's propelling her, through Dan Murrell, which is like,
it's incredible. Janine deserves all the applause in the world. Like, again, upset of the year, because the sentence Dan Murrell will lose in the singles tournament regardless of who is on the other side of that equation, is going to make your jaw drop. Like, if before I even, like, at the beginning of this season, like, all I could see is who got drafted where at the beginning of the season. And you told me that come tournament season, come time for Ultimate Schmodown, Dangerous Dan Murrell is in the singles tournament. Oh, shit. For real? Dan gets bumped out of the tournament during the quarterfinals. Who? Janine the Machine. Holy hell. You know, I'm just like trying to like talk myself through like me 11 months ago. You know what I mean? Like trying to process this information. It's incredible. Like I wish I could shake her robotic hand. Very sincerely, I would like to shake her robotic hand. But yeah, upset of the year. And if anything else wins it, I am calling bullshit.
Here's the thing too. And we can talk about this now to get it out of the way. I get the, like, for me personally, and I'm sure for you too, we get the best of both worlds. Janine can keep playing in the tournament, and Dan's still playing it spectacular.
Yeah.
So there's just no one loses because of this, and that's even better. Like,
yeah, I agree. We can talk about that now. I was elated last night watching Newms versus Bibiani. I'm a patron. I got the link. I sent it to Travis a couple days ago. I was watching chronologically. But before we go into Arthur versus Press Room, I'm so glad it's going to be Dan versus Roca. Oh my God. I save it for last. Let it be last. Let this be the closer. It has every right to be the closer.
mm-hmm.
I cannot wait to watch this spectacular with you. I cannot put into words how excited I am to watch this spectacular with you.
I think he's confirmed that Marisol's match is still going to be the headliner. Like, it's going to be the last match.
Okay.
Because he made a post earlier today that was like Marisol McKee is the headliner of Spectacular 6 or whatever number.
I mean, cool. I dig that. Yeah. I also think like whatever the order is, there's
no bad order because
there's no bad order. I think it would be most wise if Murrell v. Roca's last ride is right before Marisol's match.
I think so too. I think it'll probably go like Star Wars Inner Geekdom teams, Roca singles.
Yeah. I would like that the most because I think at that point, like, you have exasperated the crowd so much, like all night with all these crazy high stakes championship matches, that you get like this big emotional send off for John. That like while everybody's like trying to recover from like the feels of watching that match go down, I'm probably going to cry.
Oh yeah, no, that's not probably. You will cry regardless of what happens. Yeah, John's gonna cry. John's gonna start talking, and he's gonna cry, and then you're gonna cry.
And then John's gonna get so excited he's gonna start talking about how good he's gonna fuck his girlfriend after the match.
As one does at a Schmodown.
That is still second only to Bibiani. I'm coming for you, bitch. That is the only thing that sits higher on my Roca moments. I gotta get a Roca shirt. I gotta get a Roca shirt before Spectacular, so that I can change. Like I gotta rep corruption, but I gotta change into a Roca shirt later that night. I'm so excited to watch the Spectacular with you, dude. This shit's gonna be insane. But jumping into our next match, King Arthur of the Finstock Exchange versus Press Room. It went, I think, the way most people were expecting. Press Room put up a hell of a fight.
If they, I don't want to say we're more prepared as if they weren't, but and this again, we've seen this happen to Perry before. It makes sense that it would happen to both of them, that like you get to a 5-round match, you go to a speed round and there's a fumble, right? Like that's where everyone fumbles in their first 5-rounder. Also a little bit in the betting round. Because
they should have bet a full 3. They should have bet a full 3. Like that. There was no reason. Like at that point, when you're playing against a team like King Khan, like your only option is high risk, high reward. Like either you put yourself because they already had a lead. So you need to bet 3 praying they shit themselves. Bet 3 as a buffer so that you don't lose any ground. Or you bet 3 and you go and you get it wrong and you go out fighting. Mm-hmm. Like either way.
And like despite if they're saying fumble. Oh, we did it again.
You go.
Okay. I think they made the right, like what they did in the speed round was correct.
Yeah.
That Perry knew if I answer any of these and and part of it was I think she psyched herself out, but she did, if she didn't know the answer, she did the right thing.
I agree.
Like absolutely. But just being ready, because I'm sure she knew at least 2 or 3 of those. And just got really in her head of like, if I get this wrong, we're going to lose the point. We're going to get KO'd. Right? So.
Yeah. No, I'm inclined to agree with you on all of that. And it doesn't help that Arthur Newms and King Khan were animals in the speed round.
Man, we'll talk about Newms. I'm gonna save my spiel about Newms for later. But yeah, these guys are nuts. They are by far the best rookie team. They're the best new team this season, and they've only been together for half the season.
Well, I mean, this will kind of be a good segue into the last match we have for you guys tonight, because like I said, we're recording this on Wednesday. Shazam has its work cut out for it.
Yeah.
For them. I'm afraid for your guys.
I think we're going to see one of these. I think it's going to be close as hell.
For audio listeners, Travis is gesturing at his 5150 shirt.
150 shirt. That is a loving birthday present, and I'm very happy with this. I'm going to wear it so much. I need to make sure I wash it right, because my dungeon one is fading, like the design's fading, because I don't wash them
inside out.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I was dumb, but I'm gonna keep this one nice. So
I'm also happy because now we both have like commemorative shirts to wear for Spectacular. Like I have my season 7 champions corruption shirt, and I was like, I gotta get him a 5150 shirt,
But I think the thing Shazam has that I almost said just King Khan, that King Arthur, I was half right, doesn't, is the experience of playing as a team and the experience of playing live as a team, right?
Yeah.
Kid and Bibbs know what they're doing. They've been on fire all season together. They both did decently in the tournament. They've been keeping warm in singles. They just played Lightning. I say just played Lightning time. I'm sure they recorded the match a while ago before we saw it. And like they're not ready.
Yeah, I concur with what you're saying.
And we saw in these 2 matches, we saw King Khan not do so hot in round 1, which 2 points on that. I've seen people going to bat for him and like they're defending his performance, which they should do because he's an incredible player. I have not seen anyone try to like attack him for it though. And they reference like all these people hating on King Khan. And I'm like, I don't know who you're talking about, but like also you're right, he is fantastic.
I don't see the necessity for you to go to bat for him, but your defense is airtight nonetheless.
Yeah, like you are correct. But why? But also I get it, but why? That like we've seen King Khan not do so hot in round one.
Listen, it's just all of the Finstock Exchange fans are just like, I say this lovingly. Tom Dagnino is the like somehow more harder to understand train of thought of Schmoedown version of Joe Rogan. And the Finstock Exchange fan base, generally speaking, is like a funny, self-aware Schmoedown version of Joe Rogan fans. I have nothing to back this up except for Gucci's behavior.
And I understood everything you just said and completely agree. So,
speaking of Rogan, please tell me you saw the like the absolute like abject failure of humanity that happened last night.
No.
Michael Malice, Blair White, some other putts I've never heard of, Joe Rogan and Alex Jones were all on Tim Pool's podcast last night.
And no one knife missiled it?
No.
We couldn't use Raytheon for good this one time.
I am sad to report I listened to the entire thing.
Of course you did. I expect nothing less.
Here's the thing. If you want a good laugh, I say you listen to it. Is there something beautiful about a bunch of like libertarian and right-wing shitheads all keep telling Alex Jones to shut the fuck up?
Okay, maybe it'll be worth it for that.
Like, I'm not like, it might be the car ride tomorrow, man. Because like just periodically there are people just go, Alex, what the hell did you just say? Like, how far have you fallen when Tim Pool is the voice of reason in a conversation, you know? Anyway, back to the show.
Yeah, back to what we've seen in these two matches. King Khan and Griffey Newms can have a rough round one.
Yes.
Admittedly.
They are immortal.
Like yeah.
Barely.
Yeah.
They're like Captain America mortal. Like you're not a factory floor human. But you're
certainly killable, it's just real tough. And I think in the case of they're doing what I think Danger Zone on paper was doing. But because they're rookies and they don't have their own like innate play styles quite yet, or like they do now, but like they developed together as rookies.
Yeah.
So they were able to, as rookies, meld it into their like one play style. It helps that everyone on the exchange are rookies and are all just actual homunculi of Tom Dagnino. So like, of course they melded together. It just made sense.
Homunculi of Tom Dagnino.
So I think
that's the end of the episode.
Stop! Move away from the cookie jar.
I don't mean that as an insult to call them homunculi, but the bit of the exchange is they're just all doing the Dagnino bit, which is amazing. Like at first I thought I would hate it, but I've loved every minute of it.
It was like same. I thought like only Tom can do the Finstock like idiot savant routine, right? But like every member of the exchange has been able to like latch on to like one element of Finstock's character and blow it up to 1,000. Like Rick Radis and Ty Lieberman, like both of them like completely leaned into like the lap of luxury, I'm a rich bitch part of the persona, right? You have the like, I don't want to say unearned, because Griffey Newms and King Khan have both earned their level of confidence in this game. But like unearned in terms of like a level of confidence, like nothing you
No
can
one
do
should
can
have.
earn that. No one should have that. Like you're overdosing on confidence. I almost started deliberately quoting Drake, and I'm not going to do that to either of us. Great song though. Headlines. But both King Khan and Griffey Newms both like latched on to that like unbridled, unhealthy relationship with my own hype confidence. And like I said last week, and we see it here a little bit as well. Newms is really good at having that one moment in the post match where he like bows his head to his opponent and is very deferential and like thanks him for a good time. But he's also the same guy who during his first live event went, "Give me the Pixar coat, Ratatouille, 2 points, please." Like same guy.
Yeah. Like in that same match, he did that and then went over to Josh Horowitz and like shook his hand. They might have hugged, I don't remember, but like was very like, dude, you did awesome. Like this was great. I'm glad we had fun. And he would have done that regardless of the outcome. Right.
Griffin Newman is just so full of respect for his opponent. Downtown Griffey Newms.
2 points, please.
You can he's a bastard. Yeah. And that's the point. Same thing with King Khan. He's a bit of a bastard.
Yeah. And I said, the two powerhouse players.
Again, the characters, not the people. I want to make that abundantly clear. Nobody take that out of context. They are both clearly playing villains.
That they're just such powerhouse players that sticking them together and adding their powers together, like in theory, should work. It didn't quite work with Danger Zone. I think because they're both so established as singles players in what they do that when they combined, it just didn't mesh. Right? I think the reason the Bibbs and Kid, yep. That's right. William the Bibbs Bibbiani. But like,
in his rookie year, Brendan was great, but Bibby, he's absolutely Bibbiani's Padawan.
Yeah, and that's their dynamic, and that's why it works. And so I think that he's doing more gross stuff. I think, again, the reason Khan and Newms worked so well is because they did the Danger Zone thing, but they're rookies, so it was malleable, and they were able to form their play to each other. So as singles players, they were already intense and insane. And now as a team, they're practically unstoppable. I think Shazam, obviously Shazam has them beat in experience, and I think that might be the factor that edges them out. But we're gonna see something like this, almost guaranteed.
I think you're right. I also think that next season, again, we don't know what next season is going to look like necessarily. There's going to be a lot of moving parts. There's going to be a lot of new stuff. One of the things that I think everybody who is even thinking, I didn't even mean to click that one. That is in the pantheon of I'm afraid of the YouTube copyright gods. I also thought I'd be able to find a way for it to just be audio, and it's the one where he's like, that's for a younger crowd who like Bo Burnham and know what TikTok is. But I think that Teams has become this free-for-all. Mm-hmm. There's only a handful of teams that last longer than a season anymore. I can count on one hand the teams that have been around for more than 2 years. Not even. Final Exam. I was gonna say like Final Exam, Corruption, and Shazam. But like
Final Exam was last season.
Literally just Corruption and Shazam.
Yep.
They're the only teams that have been around for like longer in 2 years, and mostly only stayed together because in terms of teams and factions, you can't have Mike Kalinowski without Chance Ellison, and vice versa. And you can't have William Bibiani without the kid, and vice versa at this point. You know, that's one of the reasons why I like their dynamic. Like, I like the Shazam corruption rivalry so much. Is that it's very much a light side, dark side version of the same dynamic. You know, again, Chance, incredible fan league player. You know, that's not to say that like Chance needed to be trained to knighthood by Mike, or even vice versa for the kid. But like those two linked up, and you had this rookie sensation with an old head who's like just killing shit. It felt very Master and Apprentice. One of the things that the teams division I think is going to be very much on notice for this foreseeable future is that going into next season, with like factions are going to be 5 people a pop. You get 2 teams players, so which is technically 2 singles players. Or no, I think it's like you get 5, and it's probably going to be like a dedicated singles player, a team,
Energy
Star Wars IG. When that happens, there is no way in hell Gucci does not keep King Khan around, or King Arthur around.
I'm glad that we're both doing it.
Yeah. When next season, King Arthur, like what you were saying, that like they're more malleable, they're maturing together, their play styles are kind of like becoming this one, you know, like very, you know, in simpatico thing. They are going to be so dangerous as they mature together through the seasons. Like, it's, honey, there's a storm brewing type shit. Like, it is going to get ugly moving forward. And I don't think anybody's like truly aware of it.
Finstock's one of the factions that has their easy 5, right?
Yeah.
Because they go Barbarian, King Arthur, Gold Leader, Moose, and they're done. Like, it's that easy.
Yeah.
And all 5 players I just named are incredible players.
Yeah.
Like, Finstock is just on a roll. And the fact that, because, you know, I did the bit about Ethan 3 belts at the halfway point of the year.
Yeah.
When the tournament started, right? I'm like, Ethan 3 belts, it's going to happen. Trust me, it's going to happen. And technically on paper, it could have happened. And it would have been really funny if we were at this point and I was just like, we're so close. Right?
Ethan Irwin is 70% of the spectacular.
That I couldn't imagine being like any player in that situation where you're like, I have to play 3 of these. I have to do 15 rounds of Schmodown in one night.
Have to do 15 rounds.
Could you imagine? Be insane. Someone needs to do it. But that's the thing. It's so rare. Like, I think the closest we've ever gotten is Mikey 3 belts, where he was actually like, it wasn't an absurd idea that it could have happened.
Yeah.
Right. And
goddamn you, Flash Gordon.
And then we go Flash Gordon. But like the idea of Mikey 3 belts, you know, it was a meme, and suddenly like things were just working, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, this could happen." And then, you know, he lost, and the timeline corrected itself. I kid.
Again, thank you to our sponsor, Sunday Bloody. It's not your birthday yet, you son of a bitch. Don't.
Wait, that is true. But it's so rare for the idea of someone being double belted to happen. right? Just that
Yeah.
it's plausible. On top of the fact that Griffin Newm's GN, whatever combination, Griffin Newms is a rookie, an undefeated rookie that is already playing for one belt. Griffin Newms might be playing 10 rounds of Schmodown at the Spectacular and has an incredibly high chance of winning those 10 rounds.
I mean, dovetailing into the final match, as much of a force of nature as he is, he's fallible.
He is.
And
but I think also we've seen a kind of Nikki DeMolanta situation with him, right? I say this every time Nikki plays, and it's still insane to me. She's never missed if her opponent hasn't missed. That's not quite true for Newms, but it's damn near close. Like, he was saddled with opponent's choice and gave up 1 point.
yeah.
Right? And it wasn't like he
Bibbs also went up by 1 or 2 in round 1 as well, which
he was up by
it
1.
really it felt like, honestly, for a moment it felt like, especially at the end, Griff was a dead man, and that sudden death question.
I actually knew
yeah, me too. I unfortunately
remember Dark Phoenix.
It comes back to Dark Phoenix.
Yep.
I knew Dan Murrell's martial arts movies question.
Oh,
the name of the movie that the RZA wrote and directed, Man with the Iron Fist.
But yeah, I just don't. He is fallible, but I think he's fallible in the sense that any player is, and when he misses, generally everybody misses. That is kind of the thing.
Yeah.
He did spectacularly in his round 2, despite getting opponent's choice. Got saddled with the category he didn't want. I actually watched the post game for this, or listened to the post game for this one, and he said they correctly gave me Star Trek. I was terrified, and he only missed 1, and he didn't just only miss 1. He only went to multiple for 1. He's terrifying. I think he might be the best rookie. He might be the best rookie the Schmodown has ever seen.
He's very Smetsian. Very Smetsian. The Smets of it all.
And I think the big thing here, the he's fallible. This is, I think, the first match. I don't know that this isn't his first not KO. But I think it is the first time he's gone into the final round under on points.
Yeah. This absolutely is, yeah. Listen, I think there's absolutely a set of circumstances where Marisol is able to kind of beat him in a submission. And I'm hoping that's what happens. Obviously, Mr. Newms is not out of the hole yet. He's still got to make his way through the rest of his opponents. He's got to play the winner of Janine and the Barbarian.
Is that tomorrow? Question mark, or the end of the week?
Yes. And then Friday is the finals, which we'll be back to talk about whenever we record this show next. But yeah, man, this has been a hell of a season. I said it practically at the beginning of the year, and I said it again in the middle of the year. And I'm going to say it now as we inch towards the end. This has been the greatest season of this sport I have ever seen.
The only match you could have told me for spectacular, regardless of who wins the singles tournament, the only match you could have told me for spectacular that I would have believed you was Kalinowski v. Parker. That was it. The team's match is more believable because it's Shazam. I love my boys.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh yeah, baby, they're in it. Like, if you had told me Alex Damon was not playing a spectacular, I wouldn't have believed you. If you told me a rookie, one of the teams of rookies from Finstock was playing, and not Rushmore, I wouldn't have believed you. If you told me Marisol would be playing defending the belt, I wouldn't have believed you.
For the second time.
Yeah, right? And the fact that I'm just we haven't done predictions in a while because we have had like a rough schedule, but we have the next two for sure. Between Janine and the Barbarian, I favor Janine. She's on a tear. And if she wins the tournament, I will be ecstatic. Right? I think that's awesome. I think that match at Spectacular would be insane. It'd be a fan favorite regardless of what happens. I am too mesmerized by Griffey Newms currently to not put my money on him.
I think it's a safe bet. That's not to discount Janine. That's not to discount Barbarian. He's just slightly inhuman. And I am... Dude, if Griffin Newman and then King Arthur both bring home gold on the 4th, I cannot wait for the supercut of every Schmodown after show, including this one, making fun of the dossier, making fun of the draft decisions, making fun of Gucci, making fun of the rookies, talking about, wow, there's a lot of unearned confidence here and y'all haven't even played match 1 yet. Like all the shit we all talked.
To be fair, to defend ourselves, I think the only thing we really made fun of, we were confused. We were like, they have an idea in mind, but this is an odd choice. I think the only thing we actually ragged on them for was that they kept do-si-doing everywhere.
You're not wrong.
And if I might be wrong, actually, and I will.
You know what the biggest power move would be from Finstock at the Spectacular? First of all, please wear the anime pants again.
Yes.
Second of all, Tom Dagnino's anime pants. Best personality in the Schmodown. I want Tom to come out with the dossier.
He'll have like a prop thing. Like he definitely will.
According to everybody in the exchange, there was a real dossier. Like there's the joke about, oh yeah, it's 100 pages, it's 250 pages, it's 500 pages, it's 800 pages. Like,
well, first of all, there wasn't a dossier, there was a dossier.
There was a dossier.
A dossier. That's what he'll have on stage. Well, he'll bring out a prop dossier, but backstage there'll be the dossier, and that's the real one.
I hope he comes out with like a literal like ream of paper, like ripping apart a manila envelope and just throws it into the audience. It's like, there's the dossier. And then and if like whichever like combination of Finstock teams and properties like wins second, he comes out with the actual dossier that he used to draft them. He's like, and here's the real one. I'm not going to throw it to you because this is very confidential and would give away exactly how I made this happen. But you made fun of it. You made fun of it. And now look what happened. 2 belts of the exchange, all at the end. Like his victory lap, his victory speech, as unintelligible as it will be, writes itself.
Yep. And will be unfortunately well earned.
It's a good year to be a fan of Bobby Gucci. It's a good year to be Bobby Gucci. With that, I think that's all we have for you guys this week. Again, happy birthday to Travis. I love you, brother. I wanted to do this episode in the same room, but since I am still a little under the weather and I don't want to send you up to State College, ill as I am, and want to take that chance. So I'm sending hugs. I'm sending love through the camera to you. Happy birthday. I love you.
My awesome shirt and my amazing soap.
So you want to know why I picked that soap?
Why?
Because one's a loofah.
Yes, I've noticed.
So the one's the loofah. I got you the soap. It looked like it was going to be bigger. And I was like, this one looks like the Tesseract.
Yep.
And I was like, it's nerd cool. And also, it's William Bibiani soap. It was really funny because I was telling my mom, I was like, oh, yeah, I got Travis's birthday presents on #1 Contender. She's like, oh, what'd you get him? I was like, well, I got him a cool Schmodown shirt that he's wanted. She's like, oh, that's nice. And I was like, and I got him soap. And my mom was like, you what? And I was like, allow me to explain. Allow me to elaborate.
I figured I was getting the shirt. Like, I didn't look before because I've had it all day because I picked it up this morning. I didn't look, but I figured I was getting the shirt because I hadn't bought one yet. And you were like, if you do not buy one, and you do not tell me you buy one, I'm buying you one at some point this year. So I had a feeling.
Yeah, I made it very clear. I was like, you're going to end up with this being either a birthday or a Christmas present. And if you buy it, you need to inform me so I don't get you a second one.
And I am quite happy with this. And then I forgot, because you had joked a couple times, like, I'm buying you Bibbs soap. I was like, cool, do it.
On this podcast.
Yeah, I forgot. Somehow. And so when I saw the box, I just went, what's in this box? It's like wedged in here. What? It's soap.
Oh, happy birthday, buddy. It's a pleasure as always, and it's all my honor. One moment. You need to vamp.
Oh, because he's coughing. Yeah, I'm old now. Thank you very much for the well wishes and the gifts. It's very much appreciated. I am a quarter of a century, and that I've never felt terrified of saying my age until now. Like, I got a little spooked at 24. I was like, oh God, I'm in my mid-20s now. Eek. And now 25, there's something about it where I'm like, oh no, this isn't right.
God, you do know I am making a full production in 5 years, right? Like surround sound, Turning 30 by Bo Burnham.
You think we're going to make it 5 more years?
I mean, that is assuming the Trump Carlson ticket doesn't win in 2024.
Yeah, right. No, I think he'll be dead before. No, he's going to live till be like 160. What am I talking about?
60 years now, just somehow Donald Trump returned. Anyway, everybody wish Travis a happy birthday in the comments. That's a threat. But where can the lovely people find you, Mr. Birthday Boy?
They can find me celebrating with the new Pokemon game that comes out on yesterday when you're listening to this. At Travis Political on Twitter and Instagram. Jarod.
Yes.
Where can they find you hunting boars?
You guys can find me hunting boars and continuing to rot my brain by seeing that there is awful, awful content being produced and then running face first at it. I also like this weird little unspoken compromise we've made where everybody collectively gets upset with me when I'm like, hey guys, I was watching Phantom Menace videos again. But like when it's the normal far right, none of you bat an eye anymore. Like the normal lunatics, it's like it's like okay, he like Alex Jones is on Timcast. He had to watch it.
Yeah. Well, like you don't get energetic. I guess you're less likely to throw a punch, I think, versus the Phantom Menace where you're like, it's like poetry. It rhymes.
We have just slightly enough of a platform for me to pick a fight with the Phantom Menace that one day it actually come to fruition. I think it'll be a very long time, if ever, I'm able to go, hey, Tim Pool, you suck, and get a response from Tim Pool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like, that's very much like I'm screaming into the ether, and I like to watch people more qualified than me do takedowns on them. But they fascinate me. Where with the Phantom Menace, as you said, there's a level of like, I can take you. Like, we're on the same level and I got this. Come here, you son of a bitch. So that's valid. It was not great for me whenever that Phantom Menace Alex Jones live stream happened. I don't know if Travis never was like gonna be on that stream, and then like was like, oh, I'm tired, and I'm like, valid. I watched his segment of Friday Night Tights 4 times in preparation for that stream. Like, I watched it 4 times. I took copious notes, time codes. I clipped segments from InfoWars to show during the stream. Like, I went to the actual source. I was dedicated to that one. That was some of my best work. That was some of the best we've done around these parts. Oh God, I really need to stop watching this shit though. I'm never going to. I absolutely should.
Yes to both.
But you can find me hunting down the worst content on the internet at Dark Jedi 2552, and you can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on our website www.thenerdacademypodcast.com, where if you're feeling generous, you can donate to our Patreon page.
Give me $1.
Speaking of our patrons, thank you to our $10 alumnus, Nick Johnson. Say the name again.
Omae Shinderu. Noni. High pitched.
I'm gonna clip that so I can just have you say it for me. Delta 9 and Waffle Wizard. Also, funny story. Monday night while we were wrapping up the stream, Kaysen put on his Snap story that he was watching it, which was funny. He was like watching the homies on the big TV. And I was like, oh, that was very sweet of you. And he was like, yeah. And he was like, and whenever you mentioned that like the Patreon link was, or like the StreamYard link was on Patreon, I went to open Patreon and realized because I changed debit cards, I wasn't a patron anymore. And it's like, Kaysen with like all of the honesty in the world was like, hey, I didn't decide y'all weren't worth it. I was like, dude, you don't have to. He was very funny about it. Kaysen's one of those people that like once you know how he talks and you can imagine him saying something, it becomes infinitely funnier. I just realized like Travis and I laughed at that because we both could like very much hear his cadence and none of you can. Be sure to consider the $5 tier. Knights of the Nerd Republic, our Versus Series tournament is coming up. Ulick Keldroma versus Cade Skywalker is out now, and then Lord Hoth versus Darth Vader is going to be our December matchup. And then right into that, we're doing the tournament. The tournament is going to be a live show. I don't know when yet. Spencer and I got to work all that out. But once we do have it worked out, stay tuned. We'll also have details as to how we're going to be doing the bracket submissions, because we might have a Patreon bracket submission contest where patrons will win more, or whatever patron has the best, like has the bracket that's most accurate, will get more goods than somebody entering who isn't a patron, or we might limit it to patrons. We're not 100% sure yet. We will figure it out in time, and we will have a full breakdown for how all of that is going to work in the near future. TeePublic, it's that time of year, shopping season. Not that, I mean, it'd be really cool if one of your loved ones would like our merch, and that would be really weird. Like,
but maybe one of your loved ones is looking for a gift to give you, and you can point them in our direction.
Exactly. But if you're looking to get yourself some Nerd Academy merch, all of their,
and you can say you're buying it for someone else and then keep it.
It's gonna be like pretty much permanently on sale. Not permanently exactly, but it's going to be on sale for a very long time because Cyber Monday, Black Friday, their intermittent holiday sales, their last chance sales to get stuff in before Christmas. All of that stuff's going to be going on. So just keep an eye out on TeePublic if you're waiting to strike while the iron is hot and get it at a reduced rate. Obviously, none of us are going to boo-hoo you guys going whenever sales are going. That's when we encourage you to get stuff. So keep all that in mind. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things. Thank you all so very much for joining us. Happy birthday, Travis, and smash cancer.
Stop! Move away from the cookie jar.